Hello, dear friends. This is Kira Rudik, member of Ukrainian Parliament and leader of the political party Holos. I'm speaking from Kyiv, Ukraine. Today is February 24th. It's a 4-year anniversary of a day when Russia started full-scale invasion on our country. And in this video, I will be sharing my experience of the day one, the work of the parliament that day, and some of the things that I think are important to remember. Before we start, please subscribe to this channel and like this video. Leave a comment, I really appreciate, and read almost all of them. Thank you. The farther we go from 2022, the more people come up in public and say that they were able to predict that Russia would launch full-scale invasion on Ukraine exactly at that date. But the truth is, from what I really clearly recall, a day before the full-scale invasion started, there were not too many people who really believed that Russia will dare to attack Kyiv and other cities, that they will really launch full-scale invasion at that scale. The scenario that was thought would be that they will start pushing at the Donbass and perhaps from Crimea. However, there was no absolute assurance from our military that this is what's going to happen. This is why a day before, on February 23rd, we were in the parliament till late night debating if we should be voting for the state of emergency in the regions that were bordering Russia. There was no decision made, and we left home until the further notice. The attack on Kyiv started at 5 a.m. We woke up of the sounds of the explosions, and there was a clear understanding that this is the war. We started calling each other from the parliamentary party leaders, asking if we can get people into the chambers. Ukrainian constitution is very clear what should we do at the times like this. So it's writing that during the war, Ukrainian parliament should gather in the chambers to vote for the martial law to begin. So that would give our military all the powers to prepare for the defense, to execute what they need to do, and to actually have all the means and the resources. But for you to imagine, everybody was in shock. People were trying to evacuate their families. Kyiv was under attack and many other cities, and we really didn't know if we would even have the connection and the cell phone would be working within the next couple of hours. Plus, because Putin was claiming that that Ukraine's government is already done and that he will be taking over very soon, we knew that Verkhovna Rada, Ukraine's parliament, would be a very important target. This is why gathering in the chambers didn't seem like such a good idea, and our security were really hesitant of what's going to happen. So within the next couple of hours, we were calling each other, calling other members of parliament, trying to get enough people in and to prove that Ukraine's state is operating and working, and to exercise on the responsibility that we have to Ukrainian people according to the constitution. So we gathered in the underground tunnels around Verkhovna Rada, and we were waiting for the signal, and then our security said that we will have 10 minutes in the chambers and that we should be using them wisely. I remember how we were running in, and in Ukrainian parliament, the lights were off, and the bags were covered, the windows were covered with the bags of sand, and there were so many military in. And when we appeared in the chambers and we looked around, it turned out that of 420 members of parliament, almost 300 came. And for the next 10 minutes that we were desperately clicking our buttons, asking for the world to stand with us, asking for the international support, telling Ukrainian people that we are not running, that we are in it together, and that we will be standing, making sure that state exists, we were singing our national anthem and holding hands. This was one of the most emotional moments of my life. And also at that moment, we made a vow, for as long as it takes, no matter how hard it will be, we will try to stay united as politicians until the war is over. And right now, 4 years in, I can tell you it's incredibly hard. Politicians are not set to work together. But there is something bigger than our political ambitions. It's a survival of our country. It's a future of our country. And this is why, even by this moment, we are trying to hold the political debates behind the closed doors. We are trying to work as one team Ukraine when we are working with international partners. And though there are so many things to criticize President Zelensky and his party for, I'm trying to do it in the way that it wouldn't play on Russia's hand and it wouldn't destroy the unity that we still have. After that, we went home and had to make a very important decision to stay or to flee. There were many people who decided that Kyiv was an unsafe place, and they left. My team and I, we decided to stay, and we were called in to receive the weapons. At that moment, Ukraine was giving away Kalashnikovs and many other weapons because it was said that Russians will be surrounding the city and we would need to defend ourselves. This is when my team and I, we received the weapons and we went home and we were calculating what would we need to prepare for defending ourselves. This is when the picture of me with the Kalashnikov was taken and it really quickly became viral. At that moment, I remember how scared I was and how surreal it all looked, but we wanted to send a message to the whole world that we are not fleeing, we are not running, and we will be standing for what is ours, our country, our territories, standing together with our people. Years later, on Ukrainian political arena, I was criticized for taking this picture because it feels like Ukrainian politicians need to be concentrated on their work and Ukrainian military need to be concentrated on theirs, and we should not step on each other's toes, which I truly support. But at that moment, it was absolutely not clear what's going to happen next, and everybody had to make the decisions for themselves. And I am absolutely not ashamed of any decision that I made, including the fact that for the next 3 months, together with my team, I was in Kyiv. I worked and didn't miss any sitting of the Ukrainian Parliament, and I was working with people who were evacuating children. And then, when Bucha was liberated, I was in the parliamentary delegation to observe the exhumation of mass grave. After that, lots of international work has started, but every time I'm coming back to the day one, I remember a priest who was standing at the streets of Kyiv and calling for people to pray together. He was saying a very important thing. He said, "Dear God, at a time like this, please help us to be exactly the person that we would imagine we are." So I'm so grateful that we all have survived till this moment, and that I'm able to share this story with you. I'm also grateful to brave men and women of Ukraine that I never had to use the Kalashnikov to defend myself. Thank you so much, and glory to Ukraine.